Something's boiling again between Caleb and Nathan, and this time it's louder, sharper, and way more public than before. The two names that once stood together in every headline are back at the center of attention, and fans are asking the same question: why can't they stay on good terms for long? It's almost like every time peace returns, something snaps, and they're right back in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. From quiet smiles to cutting shade, this friendship-turned-rivalry has become one of the internet's favorite roller coasters. But before we dive into what's happening now, let's rewind a bit. Because to understand the present storm, we have to remember how it all began. It started off so differently. Caleb and Nathan weren't always opponents. In fact, they began as a team, creative, funny, and surprisingly relatable. Their early collaborations had an easy charm that pulled people in. Viewers loved how they bounced off each other, Caleb's calm and clever personality against Nathan's bold, quick-talking energy. Their chemistry was instant. They didn't just make content. They made moments that felt real, unscripted, and full of energy. For a while, they were the internet's favorite duo, the kind of partnership that makes fans feel like they're watching two brothers living a dream together. But then came the cracks. Small misunderstandings began to show through jokes and tiny reactions during interviews. Fans caught glimpses, a forced smile here, a sarcastic comment there, and suddenly, theories started flying. Was there tension behind the scenes? Was one of them feeling overshadowed by the other? At first, it was all brushed off as overthinking, but the signs didn't stop. In live streams, clips, and comments, people started noticing how the warmth faded, replaced by little jabs that didn't sound so harmless anymore. When their first public disagreement surfaced, it hit harder than anyone expected. A simple difference of opinion turned into a full-on online storm. Tweets were deleted, captions were changed, and for days, fans had no idea what was happening. Then, quietly, the two stopped appearing together. No more joint projects, no more shout-outs, nothing. It felt like the internet had lost a duo that was supposed to last forever. People kept asking, what happened to Caleb and Nathan? And no one had a clear answer. As weeks passed, both moved on with solo projects. Caleb focused on his own creative lane, trying to rebuild his image as a mature, focused creator. Nathan, on the other hand, leaned into controversy, becoming louder and more unpredictable. Some loved it. Some hated it. But one thing was clear. Their separate paths only fueled curiosity about what had really gone wrong. And whenever they posted something even slightly indirect, fans would connect the dots back to the fallout. A song lyric, a story post, even a quote. Everything was turned into proof that the rivalry wasn't over. Behind all the noise, there was still a sense of unfinished business. Both had moments where they spoke indirectly about betrayal, loyalty, and fake friendships. It was never clear who they were talking about, but everyone assumed it was about each other. The internet does what it does best, turning rumors into trends and trends into headlines. Soon, every little move became part of the Caleb versus Nathan narrative. What made their story so addictive wasn't just the drama. It was how real it felt. These weren't two distant celebrities. They were people who'd built something together, shared laughter, success, and maybe even secrets. Watching them fall apart was like watching two friends from school turn into rivals on camera. People chose sides. Some defended Caleb, saying he stayed true while Nathan changed. Others believed Nathan just stopped pretending and became honest about how things really were. No matter the side, one thing united everyone: they wanted to see what would happen next. Even months after their fallout, their names never really separated. Whenever one made a move, the other's shadow followed. And every time peace seemed close, something small, a comment, a post, or even a silence, reignited the fire. It became part of their story. As if no matter how much they tried to move on, the universe, or maybe the internet, kept pulling them back into each other's orbit. And now, with new rumors swirling and fans saying they're at it again, it feels like the next chapter has just begun. It all started with one unexpected post. Late last night, Nathan uploaded a short clip that seemed harmless at first, just a behind-the-scenes video from his recent shoot. But a few seconds in, fans noticed something that changed everything. There, in the background, was a familiar track. a song that Caleb had released months ago, one that Nathan had once publicly criticized. To most people, it was just background music. But for those who've followed their story, it felt like a message. Subtle, but sharp. Within minutes, comments flooded in. Is this shade? Why would he use Caleb's song after everything that happened? Nathan didn't reply. He just pinned the comment and left it there. That small action set the internet on fire. Screenshots spread across social media, and soon hashtags like Caleb vs Nathan again and Shade War started trending. People dug deeper, comparing old posts, analyzing lyrics, and even decoding emojis. Then, just when things were calming down, Caleb stepped in. Without mentioning names, he posted a short message on his story. Some people forget who helped them climb. No tag, no mention, but everyone knew who he meant. Within an hour, the screenshots of that story were everywhere. Comment sections exploded with arguments, jokes, and theories. The digital crowd that once adored their friendship was now divided again, each side ready to defend their favorite. As the noise grew louder, more details surfaced. Some fans claimed the tension started days earlier, when both were invited to the same industry event, but chose to arrive at different times. Others pointed out how Nathan avoided Caleb during a live Q&A, changing the topic every time his name came up. There were even reports that a planned collaboration between them had been quietly canceled. Nobody knew the full story, but the signs were enough. The internet didn't need confirmation. It had its narrative. Caleb and Nathan were clashing again. What made this round of drama different was how public it felt. Before, most of their issues stayed hidden behind vague posts and quiet tension. This time, it was out in the open. Every reaction, every like, every deleted post added fuel to the fire. A single emoji could spark 100 new theories. Influencers and fan pages jumped in, creating timelines and receipts to explain what really happened. It became more than just a disagreement, it was a digital event. People weren't just watching, they were participating, choosing sides, and spreading every update like breaking news. Then came the turning point. Caleb went live. No warning, no fancy setup, and just him, talking straight to the camera. His voice was calm, but his words carried weight. Without saying Nathan's name, he spoke about loyalty, respect, and how fame changes people. He said some friendships don't break overnight. They fade when one person stops being honest. Fans called it one of his most emotional moments. The live ended after just 10 minutes, but that was enough to spark thousands of clips, reactions, and breakdowns across the internet. Nathan didn't stay silent for long. A few hours later, he posted a response. Not a speech, not a rant, but a short clip of him laughing while the caption read, "If the shoe fits." No explanation. No context. That simple post hit harder than any statement could. The message was clear. The battle lines were drawn once again. Both had spoken in their own ways, and the internet had front-row seats. Overnight, their feud became the #1 topic on social media. News outlets picked it up, fan accounts ran polls, and commentators uploaded full videos analyzing their every move. Some people saw it as childish. Others said it was pure entertainment. But the one thing everyone agreed on, it didn't feel staged this time. There was a rawness in how both reacted. The tension wasn't just for views. It felt personal. By morning, followers noticed something else. Both had unfollowed each other again. Their older collaborations started disappearing from playlists, and clips where they appeared together were quietly taken down. The internet began mourning the duo all over again, with hashtags like "We miss Caleb and Nathan" trending by noon. But even as fans expressed sadness, others couldn't help but point out the irony. Every time their friendship seemed over, something new would pull them back into the same circle of drama. Some say this is the final break. Others believe it's just another storm that'll pass. But one thing is certain, Caleb and Nathan know exactly how to keep the world watching. Whether it's intentional or not, they've mastered the art of silence and reaction. Every post, every line, every second of hesitation becomes part of the story. And right now, that story is unfolding faster than anyone expected. So, what really lies behind this latest clash? Is it another misunderstanding or something much deeper than what we see online? The truth, as always, sits somewhere between their words and the silence that follows them. The moment Caleb and Nathan's posts went live, the internet transformed into a battlefield of opinions. Within minutes, timelines were flooded with reactions. Fans choosing sides, influencers making jokes, and everyone trying to figure out what really happened. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok became arenas where people shouted their thoughts in real time. Some called it heartbreaking, others called it entertainment. But one thing was clear: nobody could look away. Hashtags like Team Caleb and Team Nathan started trending worldwide. People began posting clips of old interviews and editing them side by side to prove who had changed. "Look at Nathan's face here. He's clearly jealous," one fan wrote, while another replied, "Caleb has always played the victim." Comment sections turned into mini-debates, each one louder than the last. It was no longer just about the two of them. It became about what they represented: loyalty, fame, and the pressure of online success. Fan accounts were the first to organize the chaos. They started making timelines, detailed threads showing every post, every story, every subtle reaction from both sides. Some fans went as far as collecting screenshots of likes, unlikes, and deleted captions to find clues. Others compared their recent YouTube uploads, counting how many hidden messages each might contain. It became a full investigation, half emotional, half detective work. The fans weren't just observers. They were the story's investigators, fueling the drama with every repost. Soon, bigger creators joined in. Reaction channels began uploading videos with titles like "The Truth Behind Caleb and Nathan's Feud" or "Why They'll Never Be Friends Again." Each one pulled thousands of views in hours. TikTok users made short edits, emotional montages of their friendship days set to sad background music. Others took the comedic route, turning the feud into memes. One viral clip showed a person pretending to be both Caleb and Nathan arguing with themselves, captioned, "Every time they fight, the internet wins." But not everyone found it funny. Some longtime fans said the whole thing felt painful to watch. They remembered how both used to talk about loyalty, teamwork, and growing together. Seeing it fall apart again made people feel like they'd lost something familiar, like watching two brothers drift apart. One fan wrote, "It's not just drama for us. We grew up watching them." That comment alone got over 50,000 likes. It showed that behind all the jokes and hashtags, many still cared deeply about what these two once had. The reactions weren't just emotional, they were divided. Some accused Caleb of playing the sympathy card, saying he knew exactly how to win hearts by being silent and calm. Others argued Nathan was being unfairly targeted, claiming his honesty was being mistaken for arrogance. The debate became so heated that even unrelated creators began giving their opinions, each one taking sides, further fueling the storm. News pages, gossip blogs, and entertainment outlets picked it up within hours, turning the feud into the internet's top headline for days. As the discussion exploded, something interesting started happening. Old clips of Caleb and Nathan resurfaced. Fans began rewatching their earliest collaborations, leaving comments like, "We miss this energy," or "They were unstoppable together." The nostalgia wave hit hard. People remembered the laughter, the jokes, and the chemistry that made them famous in the first place. But those same clips also became reminders of how far things had fallen apart. The same smiles now looked forced. The same words sounded heavier. Then came the fan theories. Some believed the fight wasn't real, that it was a clever marketing move for an upcoming project. A few users even pointed out that both had new releases scheduled for the same week, calling the feud free publicity. Others rejected that idea completely, saying the emotions seemed too raw, too genuine to be staged. Theories clashed just as fiercely as the fans themselves. Each side built its own version of the truth, and neither wanted to believe they could be wrong. Meanwhile, memes and edits flooded every corner of the internet. Every phrase, glance, and emoji turned into content. Some fans made fake reunion trailers, jokingly imagining the two shaking hands again. Others went the opposite way, creating dramatic edits with captions like this: "Friendship is officially over." The entire situation became a mix of sadness and spectacle, a perfect storm for viral content, and just when it seemed like things couldn't get any louder, something unexpected happened. Both Caleb and Nathan went completely silent. No posts, no comments, no stories. The silence lasted for almost 24 hours, and that quiet was louder than any tweet. Fans started to panic. Did they talk privately? Is it over? Are they going to release statements? The lack of answers only made people more curious. For many, that silence wasn't peace. It was the calm before the next storm. By the end of the week, one thing was certain. No matter who was right or wrong, Caleb and Nathan had once again captured the world's attention. They had become the internet's favorite topic, a story people couldn't stop following. Whether out of love, loyalty, or pure fascination, everyone had something to say. And everyone wanted to see what would happen next. Why do Caleb and Nathan keep ending up in the same circle of chaos? It's a question fans have been asking for years. Every time it looks like the dust has settled, something small brings the drama back to life. Maybe it's pride, maybe it's pain, or maybe deep down neither of them has truly moved on. What's happening between them now isn't just about social media posts, it's about history, ego, and how fame can twist even the strongest friendships. From the outside, it's easy to assume their feud is just another publicity stunt. After all, both have careers built around attention. A single headline can bring millions of views. But when you look closer, the emotions seem too raw, too personal to be scripted. Their words carry the weight of something unresolved. It's not just disagreement, it's disappointment. That's what makes it feel real. You can sense it in the way Caleb speaks, calm but heavy, and in Nathan's laughter, which often sounds more defensive than carefree. These aren't two influencers faking a fight. They're two people who once trusted each other, now trying to win in a battle that neither can really win. Behind every friendship in the spotlight lies a quiet competition. For attention, for success, for validation. Caleb and Nathan started as equals, but somewhere along the way, their paths split. One became more focused and polished, while the other became louder and more unpredictable. And when that balance breaks, the friendship often does too. Fame has a strange way of turning friends into rivals without anyone realizing it's happening. Suddenly, every achievement feels like a comparison. Every silence feels like a message, and every public move is watched, judged, and magnified by millions. Some insiders say their fallout wasn't caused by one big fight, but a series of small ones. Creative disagreements, business pressure, and miscommunication that kept building until it became too much. Others believe it was about loyalty, one feeling betrayed by the other's choices. Whatever the reason, it's clear that both have wounds that never really healed. And because both have platforms, their emotions don't stay private. They turn into public drama, broadcasted to millions. But there's another layer to this, the power of the internet itself. Social media doesn't let people forget. Every old post, every like, every deleted story lives forever in screenshots and memories. Even if Caleb and Nathan wanted to move on, their audience won't let them. The internet loves a story with tension. People crave updates, sides, and outcomes. So even when the two try to stay silent, fans and media find ways to pull them back into the spotlight. Their feud has become entertainment, a never-ending series where each new episode starts with the same headline. They're at it again. At its heart, this might not be about hate at all. It could be about disappointment, the kind that comes when someone you once called a friend becomes a stranger in front of the whole world. Sometimes, unresolved feelings turn into subtle battles, through captions, songs, or interviews. Caleb seems to deal with his emotions quietly, expressing his hurt through his words and tone. Nathan reacts with defiance, turning pain into performance. It's like watching two people use opposite languages to say the same thing. I still care, but I can't trust you. And yet, part of what keeps this story alive is how familiar it feels. Everyone has had a friend they drifted away from, a bond that turned sour without a clear reason. The difference here is that Caleb and Nathan's story plays out in public, where every second becomes content. Their feud reflects something bigger, how modern fame rewards conflict more than connection. The more they fight, the more engagement they get. The algorithm loves drama, and maybe, without realizing it, they've both become trapped inside it. Still, there's always a chance for things to change. Deep down, many fans believe they'll find a way back, not necessarily to being friends, but to peace. Every silence, every gap between posts gives people hope that maybe this time they'll finally step back and let it go. Because for all the anger and confusion, there's also history. Years of laughter, memories, and shared success that can't just vanish. Maybe what keeps pulling them together isn't hate, but the weight of everything they once built together. In the end, it's hard to tell if this feud will ever truly end. Maybe they'll talk again, maybe they'll stay silent forever. But one